it can be difficult to get going as a player when the ball's not in your hands. And so you have those two guys on your team, and then you have the added pressure of Kobe telling it like it is and coming up to you and saying, hey, if you don't make the next shot, I'm not passing it to you. How as a player do you kind of work through that?
Well, we had, obviously our coaching staff was very experienced. They had won 6 championships with the Bulls. One of our assistant coaches, Tex Winter, always told us that, if with all things being equal, you play 20% of the time with the ball in your hand and the other 80% of the time without it in your hand, right? Because only one player can have the ball at a time. There's 5 players on the court. So the other 80% of the things that you're doing are really more important than the 20% that one player has that ball in his hand. So we knew, the triangle offense basically is you got, especially when you have 2 players like Kobe and Shaq, you take them 2 bad motherfuckers and put them over there and put them in a 2-man game. And what you're going to blitz the pick and roll, or you're not going to go under Kobe. So they got their little thing going. If you take away what they're doing over there, you got 3 dudes on the other side that are capable of hitting the ball, hitting shots when they're open, that have high basketball IQ, and know exactly how to make whatever play needs to be made, at that particular time. So for us, it wasn't a matter of not letting them down. It was easier for us because they get double teamed and triple teamed, and teams are game planning them as opposed to us. So, I miss enough. We have young players on our team now that weren't born when I was playing, and they asked me about my game, and they say, you were a shooter, huh? I said, no, I wasn't a shooter. I just made timely shots. And so playing with Kobe and Shaq and them getting the attention, it's like those dunks that you have on your shoe, right? They might cost $150 for a pair of shoes, right? So you got the sole, you got the upper of the shoe and what have you. That's Kobe and Shaq. They take the brunt of everything. The rest of us were like the shoelace. The shoelace holds that shoe together.
Right.
So without the shoelace, you don't have any support. So we were very good and accepting of we're the support players. Y'all score 65 to 75 points. The rest of us will score, between the 2 of them, the rest of us will score 30 points combined. We'll score 100 and we'll hold teams under 100. And that kind of was our recipe for in the playoffs. And so we were good with that.
For the full podcast, check out Paul George's channel at PodcastP with Paul George.